Good afternoon, everyone. It is February 8th, 2023, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What you're looking at is just a 30-minute chart of the full external trading hours of the ES. Tomorrow we do have unemployment numbers coming out an hour before the bell. What I've done here is I've marked this chart up more than I would usually, and it's in an effort to kind of make sense of things for myself. Now on Friday, I'd made this original post and made this chart and everything, and I'd said that I'm in favor of a rotational week and that we should be looking at swing areas of interest being 41.86 to 95. This area up here that you see where we held the offer down below is way down at 40.16 to 36, so we haven't even come close to that. But what I was looking for on coming into Monday was to get a tag of that last week's VWAP. What I was thinking was that the distribution was complete on Thursday, Friday, and we would come back into VWAP. And that is what we had. We had a gap down and move into a VWAP, and then we spent the rest of the day just kind of churning, waiting for Powell to talk the next day. Tuesday, we did get that churn again. We once again defended those January highs, and we rammed up to that last week's point of control, that high volume node, the area of distribution at 41.88. Wednesday, today, I was thinking, okay, we're opening outside of weekly value area. We might have an ability to make an open drive upwards, to push, to break out, get above that 88 number, that area of distribution, and start pushing into 42.30. However, instead, we just kept getting selling into the bid, and we slid all the way down, back inside weekly value area, back to the developing weekly pocket 41.25. That's when Europe closed, and we were unable to get back above value area high, the weekly value area high, which I think is sitting at a. Sorry, this is going to look ugly, but there you go. It's sitting at net right now. It's sitting at 40, 45-ish. Back then, it was sitting at 48. So we were unable to get back above, back outside of value area high on the week, and instead we kind of closed around. Kind of around weekly VWAP, kind of around the weekly point of control, just kind of in a neutral zone. So overall, what we're looking at coming into today or for tomorrow is that weekly VWAP has only moved 14 points since the open. The weekly open was, I think, 21 quarter, 41.21 quarter, which coincides with today's low of the day to the tick. Weekly VWAP has only moved 14 points in this big 90-point range. We're likely going to open trading inside a weekly value area. We're trading inside the weekly standard deviations of VWAP. And interestingly, notably, the weekly halfback is only around, I think it's 43.75, not 42.75. I think it's 41.43.75. So your weekly halfback is right. The Magnodon. The weekly halfback is right here. So our weekly halfback is sitting right around where value area high is on the week. In other words, the volume, despite having a 90-point range, the volume is constrained to a much tighter range down below. So what I'm looking at for tomorrow is that we might potentially be able to break out of that value area on the week and get a sort of trend up scenario. So let's get into that. And before we do, I also want to show this chart. This is just something new I made, just a market profile chart. But you can see, here's the Globex session. We were unable to break Globex's value area high during the RTH, and instead we have this long liquidation is what you would consider it a B profile. And it's considered longs liquidating, and then you have this area of churn at the lows. So in this scenario, we kind of had the meat of the profile around that 27 to 40-ish area, which happens to be the overnight high currently. So we're still trading in the meat of that profile. That's just something I wanted to note. So what am I looking at going into tomorrow? Let's pull up this chart. It's a little bit cleaner. I want to put this in the context of that higher time frame value area, right? So that higher time frame weekly value area high, it's sitting at what is that? The RTH is sitting at 47 three quarters, 48, kind of around here, where we have those offers coming in at 1 p.m. So what I'm kind of playing for is a breakout, and usually I don't play for breakouts, but I think this might be a good opportunity to do so. I think you can get a breakout above that because you're trading outside of the weekly value area, you're trading above the weekly halfback, you're trapping all of this inventory. All of this from today's session, as well as all this from earlier in the week, right? Here you go. You're trapping all of that, and then I think you can start making your way upwards. Now I've written that there's a short setup at 57 three quarters. The idea being is that there was an auction here before we sold off right around 10:25ish. There was a small auction, and that's when we got our lower move. So I think we might be able to get some selling. However, the correct move may instead be to just long 53 instead. I haven't totally figured out what I want to do there just yet. I'm hoping that during the overnight I'm given some clarity. Up above, I want to be short 75 after we get a run of these stops here from that overnight high. And again, this is a look above and fail of 41.88. To the downside, there's a key auction here too at 41.11 quarter. I think there's a naked pocket 41.12. And then, of course, January's highs at 09 quarter. So I think there will be a good amount of trapped inventory around here, and we'll be able to hold these lows. But in general, what I'm thinking is that we're in for a kind of a trend up session. It's hard to say because usually we're able to monitor things a little simpler because the weekly VOP will have moved around. We'll have gotten some more sustained movement, but uh, the issue is that we haven't really moved around anywhere. We've just had this rotational week. This video is getting long. It's 7 minutes already, but I hope that makes sense. Is that yes, I came into this week expecting a rotational week, in favor of a rotational week. That's from Friday. I expected a rotational week. However, this has been kind of next level. Sellers have not been able to break that key area of distribution at 88, and buyers have not been able to break that key area, and sellers have not been able to crack those January highs at 41.09ish. We've just kind of every time we get there, we just get a bid. We still have those single prints going down to whatever it is. Where's my market profile chart? Those are our singles. These guys here going down to 91ish, right? Those singles are still open. We left one single, I think, today around 41.50, but that's how I'm looking at this. I hope that makes sense. I don't really have too much to add to that as of now, but I'm just going to be looking to be long at 11 quarter, long at 42s, long 53s, possibly short at 57s, short 75 after a run of those overnight high stops, short 88 after look above and fail, short 08 half after we get a gap close at 42, 20 or 30, and then short 30. Hope that makes sense. Hope that helps. Very likely get some changes to this pre-market, and I'll post those to Twitter per usual. 8.5 minute video for you guys. Have fun. See you guys later. Have a good night and trade safe.